Hi everyone, my name is Gracie and welcome back to Get Your Play Online. Today we will actually be making some flip books, and these flip books we're going to make it kind of a circus theme, and you will just need some simple supplies to do this. So this week our programming has been centered around a circus and carnival theme. And so we are going to keep on that theme for today's activity. So what you will need are just some pretty basic things. So you'll need some paper. I have kind of a pack here of some white cardstock paper, and that just means that it is a little thicker than normal paper. Personally, I think this works better for this activity just because it's a little sturdier, and when you make a flip book, it just kind of works a little bit better than normal paper. But you can definitely use normal paper as well. So you will also need some sort of clip, so like a binder clip like this one. I've also got a smaller one somewhere here. Oh, right here. And if you don't have these little binder clips, you can also try stapling your stack of papers together. I have this little light thing that I'm going to use kind of for tracing, but you can also use a light from a phone. That should work great too. And then something to write with. So I have a marker here. It has a skinny tip and then a bigger tip, and so I can use that for creating my flip book. Okay, so here is an example of a flip book that I made already. And you can see I have my binder clip here that is just holding it together. And here, let me see if you can see the action here. So if you kind of flip it, you can see this little guy is walking on a tightrope. You have to kind of do it. Yeah, there you go. You can see his arms are moving as he was walking across. So how we're going to do this is you basically are going to kind of each piece of paper will have just a slightly different movement on it, and this is going to make it so that when we go like this with the paper, that it looks like they're moving their arms or something, because with each paper you're just moving their arms up or down a little bit. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing that we will need to do is we will need to cut out some little squares from a piece of paper. So how I did this before was that I just kind of folded up the paper. So I just folded it so that I would be able to then use the folded lines as a guide to cut out squares that are the same size. So you want the squares that you're drawing on to be roughly the same size. Alright, so that should be good. So now I'll unfold it. Okay, so now when I unfold it, I have some guides to cut the lines with. And because this is cardstock, it might not be perfect when you do it, which is totally fine, but the most important thing is that the edges line up, and I will show you that in a minute. Okay, so let me just keep cutting along these lines here. Oh, I don't know if I said before you need scissors, but you need some scissors, definitely, to make your little squares. If you do have some index cards, those could also work really well because they're already pre-cut in a good size for you. But I don't have any of those, so I'm just going to make my own. Alright. Okay, so now, and you can even cut some more if you prefer to have more steps in your flip book. So I'm just going to trim this edge here because they're not lining up totally right. Okay, so sometimes if you want to stack your pieces of paper on top of each other and just make sure they pretty much line up, that is always helpful. Alright, I think that should be pretty good. I might just cut this edge just to make a little bit, just to make sure that it's kind of lined up. Sometimes this works better than other times, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to actually put the little clip on to hold it in place while I trim the edge. Okay. So now it should work pretty well. And you can always scoot, when you get further along, you can always kind of scoot the papers. I don't know if you can see this, but I've kind of moved them over so that it's easier to flip it. So it creates sort of a slant here. So you have it like this, and then you can kind of just scoot them all over like that. Which gives you a bit of a slant to flip the book on a little easier. Okay, so now comes the fun part. Let's make the flip book. So what we'll need is to grab our writing tools. So I have this fun marker that I was showing you before. So I'm going to use this edge, or the little side of it, and I'm going to draw my first image. So I am going to draw a man on a tightrope, as I showed you before. So also something to keep in mind is if you have the clip on this side of it, no, you can't see that, can you? So if you have the clip kind of over here, like this, you don't want to draw anything too close to that, because when you do the flip book, you kind of see more this half of the paper. So you want to stick kind of to drawing in this part. Okay, so here we go. First part, we'll draw a little stick figure. If you're a master drawer, feel free to get fancier, but I think at least the first time you do this, it's a little easier just to do something basic. Okay, and I'm going to give him some little feet. Okay, and now we're going to draw a tightrope for him to walk on, because this is a circus theme. Great, so now we have this one here. See it? Okay, so we've got this guy here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to draw another one that is very similar, but just has a slight difference, and that is going to help us start to make our flip book. So I've got this little light here, and you can also use your phone. I can show you how you can use your phone or a parent's phone and use the flashlight function on it. So okay, so my little light box definitely works a little bit better, but you can still use your phone and see pretty well through the light, especially if you do it kind of just over the light part. You can also try doing it like this. So you can also try it like this, where you put the piece of paper kind of over this part of the phone, and it helps the light shine through a bit. So whichever way you want. I think this way works pretty well if you do the front of the phone. And I'll show you how you can kind of trace it. So, okay, so here we go. You'll have to make it so it doesn't automatically shut off like my phone. Okay, so here we go. So you would want to just use this. And then I'm just going to make the arms here move slightly down. So I've made it pretty much in the same place. I've just moved the arms first, just to start with the basics. And then make sure you draw the feet in if you put it on the original one. Okay, I'm clicking too many buttons on my phone, so I'm going to use the light. Okay, here we go. So you can see that they're pretty similar, but one's slightly different. So this is the one that I just did. So what you want to make sure is that you have the original one on top and then the one that you did. So I'm going to put the original one aside, and then I have my next one. And so you're just going to keep using the one that you just made to make the next one. Okay, so here we go. I've got my light box. Okay. So I'm going to get a new piece of paper. I'm going to set that down on top of the light box. Nope, sorry, you put the one with the drawing on it underneath, and then I'm going to put the blank piece of paper on top. And see, you can see that you can actually see through it. And so now I'm going to draw the next one slightly to the side, so it looks like he's moving forward. And then I'm going to move the arms a little bit, so I'm going to make them a little straighter than they were in the last one. So this is just going to make it look like he's moving a little bit. And if you want, you can scoot him over a tiny bit more so that you see a more drastic change. But see, when you look at the one before, you can see that this one's moved over a little bit, so that on the next part, he will, you'll be able to tell that he's moving. So, okay, so I just traced this one. So this was the one that I don't need anymore for right now. I'm going to add that to my pile and make sure it's behind the first one that I did. So if you want to number them, that might help you. Okay, so now I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to create the next one. So I'm going to put this on the bottom. So this was the third one I'm doing, so maybe I'll put a number 3 up here just so you can kind of understand numbering here. Okay, and this will be number 4. Okay, so number 4 is my new one here. Oh, whoops, I forgot the tightrope, didn't I? Whoops. I'll just draw it in. I think I can pretty much do it. Okay, there we go. So, next one, number 4 here. I'm just going to continue to draw it slightly to the right, and I'm going to make the arms go a little differently. So I'm going to start with just the basic part, put some feet. Okay, now I'm going to make the arms tip down a slight bit, so that when you're flipping through, you see the arms move a little bit. Okay, so now number 3 is going to move to the pile behind number 2 here. Okay, and I'm going to use number 4 to create number 5, if that makes sense. Okay, so, oh, I forgot the rope again. Silly me. Okay, there's the rope. Alright, so now this is going to be number 5. I'm going to write a 5 up there, just to help myself keep track. And this part, the part where I wrote number 5, you won't really be able to see when you do the flip book, so it's just for reference. Okay, now I want to make sure the side is lined up here. And I'm going to draw slightly more to this side. And then make the arms go straight. So it's going to look like his arms are going up and down, like he's keeping balance on a tightrope. Alright, so now, oh, whoops. Every time I keep forgetting to draw the little rope. So, you're not alone if you forget something. Okay, so, now we've got number 4 and number 5. So, number 4 can go to our pile to the left here. So I'm keeping a pile over here. Sorry, you can't see it. So I have a pile that's 1 through 4. Let me show you. So I have a pile 1 through 4 of the ones that I've made so far. So this is 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. So I just have them over to the side. Okay, now I've got number 5. I'm going to create number 6. So I'm just going to write a little 6 in the corner and put it on top here. Okay, now draw slightly more to the side again. You want to make sure that it's just a little bit of a change from the previous one, because if you make it too far over, it will look like it's jumping too much. But if you make it too close, you won't see much difference. Okay, so now I'm going to make the arms go just a slight bit up again. And as always, let's not forget the tightrope. Alright, so now I've got 5 and 6 here. Number 5 is going to go to my pile behind number 4. So we're creating this pile here. Number 6 is going to be used to make number 7. Alright, let's draw this over to the side again a little more. Go down. Now I haven't done anything fancy with the feet, but if you'd like to kind of move the legs a little bit with each time, you can definitely do that. Okay, now I'm going to make the arms go up even more, just for some dramatic effect there. Now I'm going to draw the tightrope again. It's okay if you don't get the rope exactly aligned with the one before, but it's more about his arms moving. Alright, so this is number 7. So now number 6, as before, goes behind number 5 in our pile. And what I've done to kind of keep track of them is I've put the first one face down and then just keep stacking the next ones behind it. So here's 1, 2, and then I put 3, 4, 5, 6. And now 7 is going to be used to make number 8. Alright. So almost there. And we can even make some more to keep adding to our process here. Or you'll just see a longer flip book basically if you just keep going. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you could even add other elements like, I don't know, something in the kind of flying in the background, like a bird. Okay, now I'm going to make the arms go a little more straight. Number 7 is going to go behind number 6 in our pile here. Now we have number 8, and for the millionth time I forgot to put the tightrope on. So let's add that back in. Oop. Okay, I'm just going to make his feet bigger to make it look like he's touching it. Whoops, I kind of messed that up. That's alright. That'll do. Okay, so I'm going to put a 1 here just for your reference. And a 2. I guess. Okay, so here we go. So we've got numbers 1 through 8 in a pile, and they all have a slight difference. So between 1 and 8, you can see he's scooted over a bit and his arms have changed. Okay, so now let's put our clip on. And if you want, you can do what I showed you earlier and scoot the papers like that. And you can also just do them straight, because you'll probably see the effect a little better. It'll work fine either way. Okay, so this clip's kind of big, but alright, let me use my smaller clip just because I think you'll be able to see better what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to borrow it from my other example that I made. Okay, so put this little clip on the edge. And make sure the edges are kind of lined up. And see if I can show you here. Okay, so now you can see a little flip book. See? Okay. Nope. I want to make it so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so here we go. So you can see he's kind of moving a bit. You'll be able to see from your angle anyway. Okay, so his arms. So what you see is his arms go up and down as he walks along the tightrope. And now, if you want, we can add even some more steps and get him further along the tightrope. So if we want to do that, we'll just need to cut out some more paper. We'll fold some paper again. Okay, now we're going to cut it out. And you can either add to the original one that you made, or you can also create a new one. So if you want, you could do like a flip book of a ball bouncing up and down. That's not too hard, but it looks cool. And you can also just add on to what we've been doing. Right, and I did a bad job here of cutting this edge, so what I'm going to do is just trim it so that it all lines up. Alright, so now they're all pretty even. Set these scraps to the side here. And let's add a little bit more to our flip book. So, in order to do that, I will take number 8 that I was doing. Okay, I'll take number 8 and I am going to make number 9. So we need our light again. Put that underneath. Line it up. Might not be perfect, but close enough. Actually, I'm going to use this side. So this is the side I was cutting on, and it's a little bent. And so I'm going to make sure the less bent side is used for where I'm going to turn the book. Okay. So, we've got our guy here. I'm going to draw a little bit to that side. Make the arms go down. Okay, that's number 9. Let's put number 8 in the pile. Let's make number 10. And if you want it to kind of move along a little more, you can create a little more space between each of the drawings. And let's not forget the tightrope. Okay, so this is 10. Add 9 to our pile over there. Okay, we'll make number 11. And the more parts you add to it, kind of the more fun it is, because you can see more of a progression. And if you don't know what progression means, it means a change. Okay, number 11 goes to our pile over there. We'll make number 13. Put a little 13 in the corner. I'm going to make a little more distance on this one. Alright, we'll make number 14. Let's just go to 15. I think that'll be good. Oh, whoops. Tightrope. Tightrope, where are you? Gracie forgot you again. Okay, here we go. So there's number, okay, so we need number 12 to go over here. We'll use 13 to make 14. I'm going to do the tightrope first this time. Alright, I'm going to use 14 to make 15. And then we will end this example there. Whoops, I completely messed that up. I'm going to make a new one. Okay. So, there's the tightrope. Move our guy over a little bit. Make his arms go up. Okay, and I'm going to write number 15 in the corner there. Alright, so now we are ready to add these to the pile, and it will make an even bigger change when you do the flip book. Just testing it before I show you to make sure this is all lined up right. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this so that you can see the edge. It just makes it better to flip. And I'm going to clip this down. The smaller clip here. Just got to make sure the little clip fits over all of these. Okay, just fits. And now, move that to the side. They're all in here? I think so. I think I left one out, didn't I? Left number 14 out. Silly me. Okay, so we've got 15. Ah, there we go. Looks like I had a bit of a jump. Alright, and here's our flip book. Try to do it so you can see it. It's kind of cool, isn't it? You can see him walking across, making progress. So you can see when we added more pages, you can see a more dramatic change in our little flip book. Alright, well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your patience. So I made some silly little mistakes forgetting our tightrope almost every time. But you can see that how much fun it is to make a flip book. And it's cool. It's like you made a little animation. In the old days when they would make animated movies, like if you've seen Snow White, for example, they had to actually draw out each frame when they made those movies, and kind of like this flip book where each and every scene, or each and every, her arm moving or someone talking, it had to be another illustrated page where you draw the same person and you make their arm move up a tiny bit. And they made entire movies like that, and it took a very long time. So even doing some of these flipbook activities, it can kind of show you just how much work went into early animation in movies, and it's just cool to kind of get a feel for the process, how it works. So great job, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and enjoy making some cool flip books. I'd love to see some pictures or little videos of flip books that you have made yourself. So feel free to put those in the comments if you would like. So thanks again. Have a wonderful day. Bye.